And I would like to show you the other video on this TV here, which is what causes a heart attack. Watch and learn.
Your heart is a powerful muscle which pumps blood around your body, and this blood carries fuel in the way of oxygen and nutrients to every cell, nerve, muscle, and organ in our body, allowing us to do all the things we do in everyday life. Being the hard-working muscle it is, the heart needs its own fuel supply. It receives this through its own blood vessel network called the coronary arteries. Two main coronary arteries, the left and right, branch off from the aorta. These in turn branch off into smaller arteries which supply oxygen-rich blood around the entire heart muscle. The right coronary artery supplies mainly the right side of the heart, and the left coronary artery supplies the left side of the heart. Coronary arteries, like other arteries in our body, are like hollow tubes. They have a strong outer wall and a more delicate inner lining. When we are very young, our coronary arteries generally have healthy, smooth walls and are wide open tubes. Throughout our lifetime, the delicate coronary artery wall can be put under attack from risk factors such as toxins from inhaled cigarette smoke, mechanical injury from high-pressured blood flow, high cholesterol or high blood sugar from a diet high in saturated fats and sugars, and lack of exercise. These risk factors injure the delicate artery lining. This injury sets off a chain of events, which leads to the buildup of fatty deposits or gunk within patches of artery walls. This process is known as atherosclerosis. These atherosclerotic fatty deposits grow and become harder to form plaque. As these plaques become larger, the artery becomes narrower. Less blood is able to flow through the narrowed artery opening, meaning that part of the heart muscle is supplied with less oxygen and nutrient fuel. This can be a particular problem when the heart is pumping fast, such as during activity, and at this stage, people can experience symptoms of angina or chest discomfort. The buildup of plaque can cause a portion of the inner lining of the artery to tear. As a result, a blood clot forms over the tear, similar to the way blood clots at the side of a cut to stop bleeding. This blood clot can block the artery opening and prevent blood flowing and reaching a part of the heart muscle. Which part of the heart muscle depends on which coronary artery becomes blocked. Fuel supply to part of your heart muscle is cut off. The heart muscle affected is starved of oxygen and nutrients, and if blood flow isn't restored quickly, begins to die. This is a heart attack. Signs and symptoms of a heart attack vary from person to person. Minutes matter when it comes to getting treatment for a heart attack. Immediate treatment for a heart attack is needed to reopen the blocked fuel line to the heart muscle again. This is done by opening the artery either by using clot-busting drugs or through angioplasty. Long-term medication treatment can help reduce risk factors such as high cholesterol and blood pressure and slow or stop the damage to the artery walls and plaque buildup, therefore reducing your risk of another heart attack. Once you have had a heart attack, it is more important than ever to change direction and get off the road that has led you to your heart attack. You might not be able to turn back time and have the arteries you had as a child, but by taking steps to change your personal risk factors and taking medication, you can limit further damage to your heart, reduce your risk of having another heart attack, and lead a well and fulfilling life.
Next is going to be what happens during a heart attack. Let's learn that. All right, just as some commercial. All right, here it is.
Approximately 7 million people around the world die from heart attacks every year. And cardiovascular disease, which causes heart attacks and other problems like strokes, is the world's leading killer. So what causes a heart attack? Like all muscles, the heart needs oxygen, and during a heart attack, it can't get enough. Fatty deposits, or plaques, develop on the walls of our coronary arteries. Those are the vessels that supply oxygenated blood to the heart. These plaques grow as we age, sometimes getting chunky, hardened, or inflamed. Eventually, the plaques can turn into blockages. If one of the plaques ruptures or cracks, a blood clot will form around it in minutes, and a partially closed artery can become completely blocked. Blood flow is cut off to the cardiac muscle, and the oxygen-starved cells start to die within several minutes. This is a myocardial infarction, or heart attack. Things can rapidly deteriorate in the absence of treatment. The injured muscle may not be able to pump blood as well, and its rhythm might be thrown off. In the worst-case scenario, a heart attack can cause sudden death. And how do you know that someone is having a heart attack? The most common symptom is chest pain caused by the oxygen-deprived heart muscle. Patients describe it as crushing or vice-like. It can radiate to the left arm, jaw, back, or abdomen. But it's not always as sudden and dramatic as it is in the movies. Some people experience nausea or shortness of breath. Symptoms may be less prominent in women and the elderly. For them, weakness and tiredness may be the main signal. And surprisingly, in many people, especially those with diabetes, which affects the nerves that carry pain, a heart attack may be silent. If you think that someone might be having a heart attack, the most important thing is to respond quickly. If you have access to emergency medical services, call them. They're the fastest way to get to a hospital. Taking aspirin, which thins the blood, and nitroglycerin, which opens up the artery, can help keep the heart attack from getting worse. In the emergency room, doctors can diagnose a heart attack. They commonly use an electrocardiogram to measure the heart's electrical activity, and a blood test to assess heart muscle damage. The patient is then taken to a high-tech cardiac suite, where tests are done to locate the blockages. Cardiologists can reopen the blocked artery by inflating it with a balloon in a procedure called an angioplasty. Frequently, they also insert a metal or polymer stent that will hold the artery open. More extensive blockages might require coronary artery bypass surgery. Using a piece of vein or artery from another part of the body, heart surgeons can reroute blood flow around the blockage. These procedures reestablish circulation to the cardiac muscle, restoring heart function. Heart attack treatment is advancing, but prevention is vital. Genetics and lifestyle factors both affect your risk, and the good news is that you can change your lifestyle. Exercise, a healthy diet, and weight loss all lower the risk of heart attacks, whether you've had one before or not. Doctors recommend exercising a few times a week, doing both aerobic activity and strength training. A heart-healthy diet is low in sugar and saturated fats, which are both linked to heart disease. So what should you eat? Lots of fiber from vegetables, chicken and fish instead of red meat, whole grains, and nuts like walnuts and almonds all seem to be beneficial. A good diet and exercise plan can also keep your weight in a healthy range, which will lower your heart attack risk as well. And of course, medications can also help prevent heart attacks. Doctors often prescribe low-dose aspirin, for example, particularly for patients who've already had a heart attack and for those known to be at high risk. And drugs that help manage risk factors, like high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes, will make heart attacks less likely too. Heart attacks may be common, but they don't have to be inevitable. A healthy diet, avoiding tobacco use, staying fit, and enjoying plenty of sleep and lots of laughter all go a long way in making sure your body's most important muscle keeps on beating.
All right, folks. So that's it. The lesson is over. Hope you guys enjoy the lesson.